Hi, Repolho Roxo Games on air, here is Andre, explaining a little more about the narrative of the game 79 Pompeii. A game narrative flow or movement happens thanks to the characters and their interactions. Because of that, playable or non-playable, the character needs to make sense or some sense. The design of each character must take into account the visual, related to the shapes, to the colors, to the animations, the audio, related to the sounds, to the sound effects, to the voices, the personality, related to the essence, to the intention, to the motivation, the behavior, related to the action, to the reaction, to the choices, makes choices, what kind of choices? And it's good to remember that an animation brings life to a behavior. The interaction, what type? Contact, dialogue. The role, related to the function, to the importance of the character. Non-playable characters are managed by an algorithm that can be or be seen like an artificial intelligence. In the game 79 Pompeii, due to the memory and processing restrictions of the Atari 2600, that management is done in a simplified way, although seeking to offer interesting behaviors. Also because of that, the character animations are simple, focusing only the essential. And who are the characters? The main character, the protagonist of the game, controlled by the player, is a Roman architect called Quintus, citizen of Etruscan origin. He wears a Roman tunic. His objective is to escape the city. However, each player can imagine to be living the story of some unknown citizen, someone who was there during the tragedy. The low graphic resolution of the Atari 2600 allows a greater exercise of imagination. And the antagonist of the game, the great villain, seen in the final scene, is the Vesuvius. He is the chief, the boss. It is under his dramatic influence that the opponents and obstacles arise. His temperament is destructive, his final blow is indefensible. The condition to win is not to defeat him, but finding a way to escape before his final blow. The sequence of events characterizing the Vesuvius actions have already been presented in a previous video. Besides the hero and the villain, there are other characters in the game. The baby, the dogs, the population, the bandits, and also the horse and the monsters. The baby belongs to some friend of Quintus, but is there alone. Its main role is to represent a situation of choice with a deeper meaning that proposes a philosophical immersion, and that choice will have consequences. About the dogs, garum was a condiment made of fermented fish, used a lot by the Romans in the food. The dogs sniff the garum and take the food from the player's hand. The brown dog seems to be harmless, as it doesn't have the attack as primary directive. However, during the adventure, he behaves as an obstacle, reacting and attacking the player, being able to kill him. Besides that, he tries to communicate something important to the player. The black dog is an opponent with the directive of attacking the player. His furious behavior is related to the protection of the house. There is no way around him without certain items. And even so, there's still danger, including a greater bite. The dogs have a certain type of movement that seek to visually transmit an idea of sound, an idea that the dogs are barking at the player. The population of Pompeii, people in general, has a very important narrative role. The characters are generic, characterized by the color pink oscillating. They appear in many places and in many forms, with the purpose of representing the drama. As a rule, people don't interact with the player character, except in a certain place where the player is slowed down or dragged. At some places, they can also try to communicate something related to the gameplay. Bandits are aggressive opponents. They have the directive of attacking the player, being able to kill him. They are attracted by the chance of getting something of value before escaping. They are characterized by the color green oscillating, to contrast with the population, allowing a clear identification. The horse looks like an item stylizing the scene. However, he has a personality. His behavior represents an obstacle, as the player needs to mount him to be able to run away. Obviously, he is tied up there, and he doesn't easily trust anyone. The monsters of the underground are mysterious beings. When present, their image has the purpose of evoking fear and horror. They behave as treacherous, deceptive obstacles that can kill the player. Ultimately, the city of Pompeii can also be seen as a character. She suffers in the hands of the antagonist, dialogues with the protagonist, and, above all, establishes a relation between story and history. The game 79 Pompeii is available for free on the homepage www.repolhorroxo.com. The correct spelling is in the description below. Visit the homepage to play. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Thank you, and have you all a wonderful day.